Hello, so with the last patch we got the skill tree changes, and with that there came a lot of mixed up builds and perk changes and build changes for most of the characters out there. So now you don't have random perks anymore in your skill tree. That means that I would say a lot of builds are a little bit more fixed now and they have the same, and you has less variety when it comes to playing around with perks. But in the end, you still have now the chance to try a different build without getting punished. Because back in the days, you had to spend hours and hours, or I would say on average it was 1 hour for me when I wanted 3 out of 3 random perks. Worst case scenario was Danny, he had 5 random perks. If you wanted to get them all, you were spending days to get them. So yeah, I do think it's okay. We have, like I said, a little bit more fixed builds because there are only very strong, a few or some very strong perks for every single character. And if you want to get those very strong perks, you are locked in to take a specific route on your skill tree. So now you're going to see way more builds that are similar for each characters. It obviously still can differ depending on what the people prefer, right? So some say, okay, for me jumpstart is the highest value. Some say for me extra drip is highest value. Some say choose fight is the highest value, right? And like depending on that, you're gonna see some different builds. But in the end, whenever you see someone with choose fight on Leland, you gonna know exactly, okay, what build he has he. If you see him having grappler, then you know, okay, he has this build. So like, yeah, this is a little bit less variety, but in the end, yeah, you can now, like I said, if you want to try something new, something fun, you want to level up random perks, for example, you can now respec them without being scared of, well, never getting the old build you had before that. So in the end, I like it. There are some winners, there are some losers. When it comes to that, I do like the changes. I would say they balanced both sides. They removed the strongest builds on both sides. So the one that got hardest hit on family is Leatherface, because he cannot run the Scout Violent Hysterical Strength Bubba, which was, in my opinion, even though I'm a Bubba main, way too OP. It was just no downsides, only upsides, so you only got win, 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 no negative part about it, no risk whatever involved. And the same goes for Anna, for example. So Danny and Anna got the biggest hits on victim side. Danny was and still is way too strong as a victim. So it's okay that he got nerfed, and then Anna players were running choose fight and grappler, and that was removed because it was the same way. If you want to stun the family 5 seconds, you have two options. You need take one door or choose fight. As a family, you had an outway to outplay take one door. It also needed skill on the victim side. If you mess up, you're dead. So high risk, high reward, I would say. And if you do a close encounter with choose fight or a sneak attack, you obviously stun the family, and well, it needs no skill to pull it off, right? But it was still, if you manage to stun them afterwards, very punishing for the family. But obviously you could lose because it takes too long, or the family member comes and hits you, or the family has suffocating grip and they just win. So it had also some risk, and if you ran that with grappler, it just had no risk, only ups, and so I would say it's also good that this was removed. Virginia, in my opinion, yes, she doesn't have fast hands anymore. But in the end, I still do like her skill tree or her perks. She has good base stats as well, so I would say Virginia got a little bit hit just because she can't have fast hands, but yeah, fast hands was only really strong on family house, and she had a playstyle where you could use your powder to drain the family stamina and then use doors with fast hands in their face, which was also, it felt weird as a family, so I think that's why they removed it. So yeah, I would say the changes are nice, and yeah, Virginia is still very strong in my opinion. She is fun to play, her ability is very strong. Yeah, now we're going to talk about the attribute points. As always, most of the time you want to put a lot of points in toughness, because toughness means you have more HP. The more HP, the more hits you have. And the more HP you have, the more hits you can take before you go low on a specific percentage threshold, which means now you can still win close encounters. So if you have 60 or 70% HP with your strength here, you still win the close encounter. The other way around, if you have 10% HP but you have 50 strength, you are still likely to lose the close encounter. So yeah, it helps for a lot. It helps for close encounter. It helps to get up quicker. If you bleed out, you get up quicker. You can tank more hits before you die, especially against Leatherface. At the moment, you need more than 30 toughness to survive on Leatherface and a single M1 if he goes the scout build. So yeah, now with 43, you cannot be full HP and you have lost a little bit HP already and still survive a Leatherface overhead and 2 M1. So yeah, I do like a high toughness, it feels nice. And that's why I'm running like that, especially since she has extra trips. So if you have healing perks or healing abilities, higher toughness is even better because you can be super efficient. Then we go endurance. I do like to have 30 endurance with all my victims. I would not go below 30 on most of my victim because it feels weird. Virginia does not have jump start. She does not have choose flight, so yeah, it can be tricky. So she has higher endurance than would normally play, so which is nice. You have to maybe be a little bit careful and manage your stamina so you don't run into risk. But yeah, as long as you're full stamina while you leave the basement, or you don't just randomly run around the entire map and running out of stamina and all of a sudden a family member appears in your face, you should be fine. I would say make sure if you're running around, doesn't matter basement or upstairs, that you run until you have 50% stamina and then wait so your stamina regens and you will never really run in risk of running out of stamina, even if they start to chase you for a while. But yeah, as long as you leave the basement with full stamina, you should always be fine. And yeah, then we're going to talk about the strength. Like I said, strength is, in my opinion, very useful. Useless, I'm sorry, one of the most useless one ever, because, well, the only thing that really helps you is if you want to barge doors or kick generator. The other thing says you can free yourself from the ropes early in the basement, or it also says to win the close encounters. But yeah, we did some testing and in the end, having higher HP means that you have higher chances of winning close encounter. But yeah, when you are lower HP, it's still better to have higher strength. So right, if you're not full HP or above 50% HP, it's better to have high strength. But yeah, just don't do a close encounter while you're low HP and you should be fine. If you really have a bone shard with you, just don't get hit 20 times and then close encounter. Just start a close encounter the moment a family member is catching up towards you, so you're still on full HP and you will always be fine. So yeah, the biggest problem I would say is turning generator off, because with low strength it takes forever. But with your high proficiency, like, just don't do generator. You can do anything else but generator and you will always be fine. So yeah, leave it like this. And then we're going for proficiency. High proficiency is always nice because 90% of the things you do as a victim needs proficiency. You unlock a basement door, proficiency. You unlock a hook gate, padlock, proficiency. You unlock a exit gate, proficiency. You turn carpentry off, you open the fuse box, you turn the valve off. It doesn't matter what you do, you need proficiency. So also if you're outside of the house and you want to get yourself a bone shard or a lockpick, and you don't want to make noise because you don't want to tell the family that you made it outside, you can hold down the action key, or like the E key. For keyboard users, for us it's E. If you hold down, you get your item without making noise very quickly, and that is also in fact influenced by proficiency. So yeah, I would go the lowest on, I would say 42, but I do like 44. It's just like how we in Germany say Schnapszahl. It's twice the 4, right? So it's nice. So you can go 44. I would not go lower, and then if you manage to die still way too often, put it in toughness. If you run out of stamina, you can put it in endurance. But yeah, the lowest I would maximum go is 42. If you go lower than 42, the game just does not feel fun for me anymore, because like I said, the most things you do is proficiency. Unless, of course, you just want to troll around, bully the family, etc., etc. But if you do that, you don't want to win anyways, right? Or you rely on your teammates to doing stuff while you distract them. But yeah, I would say if you want to play the game how it is supposed to be played, you still have a lot of options to do nearly everything you want to do and have plan A, plan B, plan C, and not just, okay, I bully. Then having high proficiency is very, very important. Then we have stealth. I think stealth is more useless than strength, because at least strength helps on generator, stealth never helps. There are some cases where having high stealth is still very nice. So yeah, maybe it's the most useless, maybe second useless, I can't tell, but yeah, I would say it's more useless than strength, because stealth only means if you go up a ladder, if you go through a crawl space, if you go over bubble breakable, whatever, if you make a noise in your victim, when your victim makes the grunting noise, that noise is reduced if you have high stealth. And the other thing why I think it can sometimes be very useful is you can open a crawl space without making a noise very quickly. Because the same way proficiency helps you with opening crawl spaces, lockpicks, bone piles, whatever, without making noise by holding down the E button, E key. The same goes for stealth. The thing is, if you smash a button, so if you press on smash E, you get more progress than holding down the E key. So in the end, having higher stealth, so if you have 50 stealth, for example, you can still get your lockpicks. I would say you get your lockpicks and your tools faster without making noise. You can open the crawl space faster because you just spam the button. But in the end, then you need 10 times as long to open a door or do anything else, right? So it can be useful, right, if you want to be stealthy and sneaky, but in the end, well, it saves you some seconds sometimes, so not really useful. Okay, then we're going to talk about the skill tree, and in my opinion, there's only one way to go her skill tree. Sadly, I think every other way is a little bit trollish. I try to not go for extra drip because she has a healing perk, and I checked every other way, the perks are just bad. I would go, if you really want to say you want to mix it up, you go to the left, because over here she has Saboteur and highly skilled. So now you can temper the generator or the fuse, and you can run 50 toughness, 50 proficiency. But the biggest problem here is you cannot take efficient locksmith. And having a high amount of proficiency in combination with efficient locksmith is just amazing. But yeah, if you say, okay, I never get value, I do not really like to rush the doors anyway, then yeah, you can go left, because here you can run tougher stuff, highly skilled, and then maybe Saboteur. If you say, okay, you still want an healing perk, then you go for what doesn't kill you, but Virginia has healing in her ability, so that's why extra drip is a little overkill. So I would say this is like the only build you can run also, yeah, well, yeah, true, these are the only the good perks. On the right side there is not a good perk at all, the only thing here that is maybe worth thinking about is stunt double and choose flight. So you can do the window play. So if you want to say, okay, I want to have a victim that can always go for the window play on family house, and my victim for choice is Virginia here, then okay, yes, go right, because here you have stunt double, you have choose flight, and then you still have extra trip. So these are the perfect place for going for the window. But that obviously depends on you, right? If you really want to do that. I do think if the hitchhiker places the new trap, it's kind of deadly. It can be, don't get me wrong, it is very, very, very strong. but I would rather have a Danny with fast hands or Anna jumping the window and you making use of your high proficiency. But yeah, that obviously depends on you, right? So if you want to mix it up, you don't need efficient locksmith, you can go left, and if you want to be the one that jumps the window, but because I said like this is only good for window, if you want to play her on any other map, I would not recommend going right. So yeah, these are the ways, but I went middle, because in the middle you do have the efficient locksmith, which allows you to get through all these doors. I had a game where this triggered 4 times or 5 times, and with a single lockpick I open left side gen, right side gen smoke room, gen exit door, and the other generator door. So I completely open every single thing instantaneously for my team in one go. So this is very strong. Also on most maps I would say you need 3 lockpicks. So you come out from the basement, that's the first door, then you run to a door, let's say Carpentry gas station, right? You go left side gate, then you go to the exit gate, that's your third gate, and then you only the car. So these are 3 gates. Generator goes the same, right? Unless there's a cook. And that same goes for most maps, so you need 3. And if you open 2 with your 2, you have an 80% chance, because your 40% triggers twice, right? To keep a lockpick. So in the end, it can be nice. It helps, and yeah, that's why I think it is a very, very strong perk, especially with high proficiency. And then you have extra drop. So this is the path I took. So yeah, there's a lot of variety. You're really fixed to some playstyle, like I said in the beginning. So these are your options. I like the middle one because it just fits her stats. It's you do have nice stats. You have healing, you have unlocking, you are tanky. So yep. And now we're going to talk about the perks. So this is, I would say, always your loadout. You do not have a lot of different playstyles once you're fixed in your skill tree. Like I said, if you went left, you have 3 perks and they are really not changeable. If you go right, you have your 3 perks. If you go middle, you have your 3 perks. And yeah, like I just said, efficient locksmith with high proficiency. Most of the maps you need 3 doors to unlock a complete site and then do gen or car, so having an 80% chance to keep it is huge. Also in the longer run, the more things you want to open, the higher chance you have it to trigger, the more time efficient you are, the less annoying it is to go somewhere, wait some time, find some toolboxes, right? It's just a very, very, very strong perk. And then we're going to have tougher stuff, because there is only one option I would say you can pick, which is Bad Blood. Maybe Safety and Mumlove, as you say, okay, the higher toughness now is not too important because you still survive on ladder phase overhand. You say, oh, most of the time I'm fine with my HP. You can maybe take Bad Blood. And then if you say, okay, I do have my ability heal, I don't need extra drip, you can go Safety Numbers. And then you are the one that is rushing, right? You have high proficiency, you're not that tanky anymore, but you can unlock doors faster. You just run, you have more HP because of your perks, you do have more stamina because of this perk, and you say, I'm just trying to stay here as long as possible, and I will never take the well and just distract 2 family members for my team until I die. Because now if I die, Bad Blood triggers. So this is like the I go in first and I go in and I stay in as long as possible build, which I think can be nice if you really want to mix it up. But besides that, you are forced into these perks. It's obviously exchangeable, like I said, right? You can also, instead of the extra drip, take the Safety Numbers. Depends on you. But yeah, then we have tougher stuff, which gives you more toughness. More toughness, the more HP, the quicker you stand up if you bleed out. So very, very, very good attribute point. And the extra drip, because it's a healing perk, and healing perks are always nice. But as you're going to see in the skill tree, we are going for the healing boon. So you always have a healing, and you don't have to steal the health potion of your teammates. And if you are a team player and you play with your squad, you can gather in the basement and you use your cloud and your whole team just sits in there and heals back. So this is not really needed, and you can pick it out for Bad Blood. Because it's like, if you really want to play aggressive and never well. So this is a perfect build. I love this perk because I am a type of guy, I always leave basement first, and I refuse to well. I rather die because, okay, I can distract both two family members now for 30 seconds longer, but if I do that, I die, or I'm going to take the well right now and probably still bleed out and, well, maybe even die if Leatherface runs down, right? So I often go for the distraction, so this is a very strong perk for me. And like I said, you do have healing. If you say, okay, you want to rush in the beginning and you can trust your teammates, you play with your squad and your squad is very experienced, you don't play with randoms, you maybe help out each other if that's the case. And yeah, just no one dies in the first 30 seconds, right? Which is always very bad if that happens. You can play safety in numbers, because here you have more HP and more stamina. So yeah, these are the perks where you can change out for the healing. And like I said, if you want to really go overkill, you can run both of them. So these are the ways I want to play. I would say your default loadout, doesn't matter if you're playing with your teammates, if you're playing solo queue, this is the build you want to go for. You have flexible ways. If you don't find a healing, you should use your powder first to heal and then later extra drip, because you don't leave in your teammates. You can also still have both. If you're in a chase, you can pop extra drip after gap and heal in a chase. So you are very, very flexible. And yeah, then we're going to talk about the ability. And as always, we're going to start from the top. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, this one was very, very annoying if you had fast hands, because the family members lose stamina while inside a cloud. If they lose stamina, they cannot swing, and then they swing, and then they run out of stamina, and they do their angry animation. And if you had 50 proficiency with fast hands, and it was one family member who ran out of stamina next to you, you were able to unlock the gate right in front of their face. But since she cannot have fast hands anymore, and even back in the days with fast hands, it was a very, very risky play. It led to my death a lot of times, especially if they're two family members. You cannot pull it off. It was just sometimes, depending on how the family members played it, if they paid attention to the stamina, if they moved in and out, and yeah, very risky. And now that's gone, so this is, in my opinion, not really good anymore. It doesn't really help. And then yeah, we have I reduced the blood of the family, which can be nice, but yeah, now it only helps against Johnny Baba. I would say back in the days when you had a Leatherface with the Vile End build, this was very strong. But since the Baba Vile End loadout perk, Skilltree, whatever, got removed, not possible anymore, not a strong perk. If you really want to be annoying, you can wait next to Grandpa, wait until someone runs towards the Grandpa, and while they are in the feeding animation, you throw your poopy powder, that's how I call her ability, on them. And then while they are in the animation, they lose their blood. So the amount of blood they're giving to Grandpa depends on how much they have when the animation is over. So it happened to me once when I played Family. I had 180 blood because I was blood feeding, went to Grandpa. And while in my animation it was done, I ended up giving Grandpa 0 blood. But yeah, this is like now, if you really want to throw the only thing. Otherwise, you're always going to take the middle one, because the middle one heals you. Not only you, it heals your teammates as well, and it heals you to like 70% HP if you're max toughness, or 80%. So it nearly heals you full, and it heals your teammate as well. So gathering around in the basement, having something like a boon in DBD, the boon totem, where victims reset, is very nice. And obviously, if you don't have your teammates coming, you can use it for yourself. And most of the maps, you won't really have problems on running out of Virginia's refill. So yeah, Virginia has to go to refill station in the basement to get her ability. So you only have your ability if you go to those tables and you pick it up. It's very important that you always pick it up. You learn the spawns before you leave the basement. There's a beginner perk which you can run in your skill tree where you learn where the tables are. which can be very nice. But yeah, once you found a table, you go there, you collect it, and then you have 2 uses. And yeah, now you have the use to throw it into the family, which blinds them and they don't see anything. And it's really, really hard to chase. Leatherface cannot hit you with an overhead. He cannot run. It's very, very strong ability. And especially since you have it no cooldown and endlessly if you know the place as well. So yeah, now you can annoy the family. You can tamper with the buckets, which I would not recommend, or you can heal yourself. So this is the perfect way. And then, like I just said, right now you have the option to tamper with blood buckets, which is, in my opinion, very, very bad. So, like, for example, this one to the right, I would never go for that. So it leaves you with the cooldown and how long the cloud stays. Since there is really, like, no, you don't even feel that there's a cooldown. The cooldown is not needed. And now, since you also use it to heal yourself, having the powder in the air longer is just perfect. And then we're going to end up with the last one. And this one is if you want to contaminate buckets. This one is you want to contaminate buckets. So there's only one option, and this is the cooldown reduction. So this is how we are going to go with her. And yeah, this is it. This is all there has to be said about the new Virginia loadout ability and skill tree. I hope it was useful. I hope you're gonna have some nice and some good games with it in the future. In case you did, make sure to leave a like. And as always, if you feel super nice, make sure to comment in the video below or subscribe to my channel in case you didn't already. Thanks for watching and good luck in the next games. Bye bye.